Now, today we're going to talk about squeeze theorem. Now, the theory of squeeze theorem, or the sandwich theorem, or pinching theorem, it states that if you can put a function between two values, all right, that means the limit for that function is equals to the limit of these values. I know, like, talking about the theory is the most difficult thing in mathematics, but if you want to apply on that theory, this is one of the most easy questions or easy things that you can do it. All right? So let's solve this question. Use the squeeze theorem to evaluate this limits. It is limit as x squared for 1 over cosine 1 over x squared. Now try to do the substitution. It's 1 over 0, which is undefined, cosine undefined, we don't know that, multiplied by x squared. You don't know that, okay? And it's not 0 over 0, just to look for another method, right? So because of that, the question states that you have to use squeeze theorem, okay, guys? And by looking at the value of the answer, it doesn't make sense. So we didn't talk about that before. That's why you have to use the squeeze theorem. Now, squeeze theorem states that you have to put your function, that you have the limit for it, between two functions that you know them, all right, guys? We don't know this function, but maybe we know another function. You have to start with something you know everything about it, all right? We know everything about the cosine. I mean, all guys, you know that cosine anything, 1 over x squared, e to the power of x, cosine any value always is smaller than 1 or equal and greater than or equal -1. All right? Because the cosine value is always between 1 and -1, all right? So what? What is the thing that we have to do it now? All right, guys, this is the easiest thing. Try to multiply all terms by x squared. I mean, do multiplication here by x squared. You're going to get x squared times cosine 1 over x squared. I multiplied this term by x squared. So by default, you're going to multiply on left and right. So 1 times x squared, that gives you x squared. Minus 1 times x squared, this is -x squared. Now, we don't know what is the limit as x approaching 0 for this term. But we do know what is the value of the limit as x approaching 0 for this term and for this term. Now, if the limit for this term and this term was exist and equal, all right, I mean, the second step of solving the question, you have to take the limit as x approaching 0 for x squared and the limit as x approaching 0 for this term from the left side, minus x squared. What is the answer here? It's 0 because direct substitution. What is the answer here? That's 0 because it's a direct substitution. Since both are exist and they both are equal, that means so the limit as x approaching 0 for x squared cosine 1 over x squared equals 0. Okay? That's what does the squeeze theorem means. Okay? So, squeeze theorem states that you have to put your function between, to have your function between two functions that you know everything about them and you can find the limit for them. Okay? Now, I mean, like maybe you didn't understand the thing exactly. I'll make you understand.